I did a bit last week, wins and losses.
Yeah.
But like I say, I've been all week. Right, all week. It's only fucking Tuesday, isn't it? Is it Tuesday? No, it's Wednesday.
Wednesday, all
what
day.
Day is it?
It's Wednesday, all day today.
All day.
All day.
All day today. Yeah, I haven't looked at the charts this week. Oh, well, that's a lie. I've looked at them. I just haven't done anything with them. So,
But I've literally had
yeah.
the 2 weeks off. Like I haven't even looked, to be honest. The only thing I've checked is my oil trade.
Yeah.
Which is what we're looking at now. It's absolutely flying.
Yeah.
But other than that, I really
big spike in oil from Israel's attack on Iran, isn't it?
Yeah. Mad, isn't it? World War III's coming.
Oh. Doesn't bear thinking about.
You got Israel, Iran, you got Pakistan and India. You got Ukraine and Russia.
Yeah.
It's fantastic. You'll be getting called up, Dan.
Yeah, it's not. Ugh. I don't think they'd call me up. Take one look at us and just be like,
yeah, you can give it a miss, mate.
Yeah. Just we need somebody to carry some stuff. Can you handle that, Dan? You can't? All right, go home.
You get yourself back to the garden centre.
Yeah.
You know.
And they're important, Dan.
Yeah, exactly.
You go and play with them.
Exactly. Right, I'm just setting. My computer was so slow. It's because it hasn't been turned on.
Yeah, I don't like the situation at the minute. Like it's fucking ridiculous.
The best thing you can do, right?
Is there anything bad against Israel?
Yeah. The best thing you can do is not look too much into it.
Yeah.
Because you start worrying and panicking, thinking the world's going to end. But, yeah, it's not good. It's not good. Come on. Why is my chat box not showing? There we go. There we go, right. Oh, my clock's not there. Where's my fucking clock? It always does this. The clock's always a pain in the backside. Have you been doing anything nearly?
No. I just, like I say, even on the Thursday, I just feel like one day a week because I'm at work
Yeah.
at 8 and I can't really check and manage the trades properly if I get in them.
Yeah. One day.
I don't.
Sometimes you only need 1 day a week.
Well, that's it. The last sort of wait, not the last, but when I passed the demo challenge, I only traded 3 times in those 14 days, and that was enough. So
you've seen that you don't need every day.
Yeah, but that's it. Like I say, you can get on, you can have a look just to feel like you are doing something.
Yeah.
Trading, you can look for setups. If nothing comes out, it's not a big deal. Like I say, it's getting used to. Like we say this all the time. It's getting used to just waiting. You don't have to be in a trade to be successful. One can do it a week. Sometimes one a month can do it. So.
Well, look at this oil. I've had 4.5 grand out of this oil.
Nice. Very nice.
Okay.
It has flown up.
Yeah.
Your entry. So.
Okay. Shall we get amongst it? Here's my mic on. If you're watching on YouTube, I don't even know if anybody is, but if you are, well, welcome to the stream. I do apologise. I've had 2 weeks off, guys. We had some personal stuff going on at home. A bit of a bereavement in the family. However, we're back. I'm not fully back yet because I'm here in body. My soul is struggling because I was away this weekend as well, which didn't help the situation. But anyway, we're back. Just to quickly go over what we grabbed before I left. Our stats for May. So we started restreaming back in May. Okay. And we didn't take many trades at all. We've only took 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 6 trades we've took in May, and that's it. Okay, so not many at all really. It's just because the markets were a bit all over for us. And we do think it was obviously because of this the US and China kicking off with the trade war. So we're hoping it's settled down now. However, stats, we're doing okay. We've had quite a lot of money for me. It shows you don't actually need that many trades to be profitable. Okay, this is based off different accounts, but mainly 50k accounts. Okay, now every trade we take on stream has obviously got its own little link there. So nothing comes on here unless we've took it on stream. Okay, obviously I take trades off stream as well. But if you just took every trade with us on stream, then that's on a 50k account, say that's where you'd be at roundabout now. So May's been a bit of a success really. We've done okay. Okay, new month, new start. I know we're 18 days into June, so there's not going to be much on June as well. This is oil, guys. If you're looking what this swing trade is, this is oil. What we're on, okay? I'm going to go over it anyway. So stats are doing pretty well. Do you know what I've just realised? I need to change these stream record. Just change this quickly because these are from last year as well. But I think I'll reset these and just put the new streaming record on. But so basically I streamed last year on YouTube and our stats were fantastic. Okay, our stats are up here. I can show you the old logbook if you want as well. So, but I might reset that yet, so I will let you know. Welcome, Akando, is it? Akandi? Welcome, mate. So yeah, we're doing really good on stream. So let's get amongst it, guys. So every morning, what we do is we do top-down analysis on the trades the pairs we trade, and the pairs we trade is oil on my swing trades, gold, and NAS. That's what I trade personally. Okay, I don't really look at any other trades, other pairs. So there's no point saying, can you have a look at this? Can you have a look at that? Because the way I trade is, you can't just jump onto it. You've got to build that relationship up with that pair, in my opinion. Okay, so they're the three pairs I trade. So we're going to start off with oil because I want some more entries on oil. Alright, so this is a swing trade. So let me just show you what we've got here. Now I know I've got lines all over. Okay, this is what we've got going on. So we'll go off the weekly. So what we've identified with oil, right, is we are in this sort of wedge here. We're in this wedge. Now I'm expecting price to break out of this wedge, but what we identified is we couldn't break out of the wedge like this without breaking a low, because none of these had broke a low, and that's why we struggled to break out. So what we needed is a pop out to the downside, which we did. This has now grabbed all of our liquidity, what we needed. And then grabbed all of our liquidity, what we needed. Now we should have enough liquidity to now pop out of this wedge if we're going to do it, right? And now I'm looking for a retest, and now I'm taking more buys. And I'm expecting price to come all the way up to 106 levels. That's what I'm after. Okay, now if it doesn't, what we could expect to see is another rejection from this wedge to then come back down. And this would just be a break and retest of this zone. But we've got sells below on this level as well, so we'll catch moves down as well. And price is doing, we've been watching this for months. We've been watching this for months. We've been watching how price moves. We've seen the break. We've been watching all this. We did get in earlier, and then we closed, and then we re-entered, and then obviously we've grabbed this all the way up. So it's a case of, can this weekly flip to the upside and start pushing and breaking these highs now? That's what we've got going on. Okay. Now for re-entries, for me, what I need to see now is I need price to break out of this wedge and come up to tap 80.37. Once we tap 80.37, that's indication for me, okay, we've now broke above the wedge. I will then look at buy limits in and around the areas of 71. And that would be my break, my retest. We look for buys, and then we're expecting price to start breaking newer highs all the way to the upside. Okay, so that's what we've got on oil. Now oil, you can wait weeks and weeks for trades, so you've just got to be patient because it is swing trading on oil. Okay, on gold and NAS, we scalp, we intraday trade. It literally just depends on what the chart shows. Happy with that on oil. So let's go NAS or gold, Dan. Which one do you want to do first?
Gold.
Gold. Gold.
Gold.
Okay, I'm going to completely reset my charts. Let me just have a quick look, because this was because we did have a wing back sell, didn't we? Okay. Right, let's do a full top down on gold. Let's have a look. So, monthly then. Monthly, we closed doji bullish on the monthly. And then what we've done, we've opened up with no bottom wick. Now the thing with gold is, until we get some bearish monthly candles, then, you know, we haven't changed direction. We're currently still very bullish on the monthly. Now we have had a doji, but what happens with gold, can completely fook you off. So even when you get a doji, it doesn't mean it's going to drive down. It's just forcing some sellers in, because we've all been taught that when you get a doji, it could be an evening star or a morning star. It's a sign of reversal. But until this candle closes bearish, we're currently still bullish. He's an example. If we look at this one, you've got a doji candle there, and then this next monthly just carried on pushing up. Okay, so we are not bearish yet on the monthly until this candle closes bearish. Let's say this candle closes something like this, then we've now got an evening stand. Now we can start looking and think, okay, is this a sign of reversal on the higher time frame that we're going to start coming back down? Which it could be. Okay, but we haven't had that yet. So the monthly was still very bullish. Now if we go down to the weekly, what's happening with the weekly? That is disgusting. Look at that. This is minging. Look at that. Okay, however, we've now had a break above this level. So we have got a level here, and then we broke above. We've got another level here. So technically, the range we're in is in this higher range. However, on the weekly time frame, we haven't got a solid range to hit. So it's very difficult now because we're looking at all-time highs. So how do we get in? Well, I've got to look at some ambushes. So let's say, for example, what I would like to see, if this weekly closes back into this area, then what would this be called now? This move here would be called a fake out. And then you've got to say to yourself, okay, if we do get that, why did we fake out? Why didn't we carry on to the upside when we previously broke a low? So we should have liquidity to push further and break these highs at least. Okay. But if we don't, and we close back into this range like this, then that tells me the only reason we're breaking back into that range is because we're coming down and we need to break the lows. So if we get this weekly close back into this range like this, I would want a top wick, tapping previous support, and I look for sells coming down to fill this range. But also, I can see is now breaking these lows, something like that. That's if we get it low. So that's what we could. That's our little ambush for sells. That's what we can look at for sells. But I can't do anything for sells unless I get that weekly close. The reason I can't do anything now is because we've tapped previous support, or we're there and thereabouts. Let's go like that. So prices broke, if I zoom in a bit, prices broke out here. And then the new candle, what we could have done, if we hadn't already pushed down to this level, we could have said, okay, well, we need a pullback. So we could take sells on a smaller time frame down to that range. But now that we've tapped it, we don't know what price is going to do. It could start to flip now to the upside. Now that we've tapped previous support. So taking sells is very, very difficult at the moment, unless it's like a swoop entry where it's like a bit of a scalp. So that's for sellers. Now for buys, we could look at taking buys in and around these levels, and also maybe on the flip. Technically, if we look at what price has done previously, we've broke a low, so we've got liquidity. So if you think about it, if we've broke a low and grabbed liquidity, why have we broke a low and why did we need to grab liquidity? Well, you would think it's only to break a high. And where's the high? Well, you've got a high here and you've got a high here. And this is why I'm saying is we have broke a high now. So this could be where we get our fake out back into the area if we're going to get it. If not, there's really nothing stopping this candle flipping to the upside to break this high. And that is technically our advantage point. Okay. So if we know that there's nothing really stopping this candle to flip into the upside, could we not just get a buy stop on the weekly? And this would be our take partial move to break even area. We could. Now, for us to get a a buy stop on, what would we want to see? Well, we would want to see what's happened is a pullback to tap previous support, which we've had. So now you've got to say, okay, well, if this candle does come up now to that, could it tap, activate us, and then push back down without breaking a high at this point? I'm not sure. I think if this does flip now, it's very likely, because we tap previous support, if it does flip, it's very likely it's only going one place, and that's to break this high. So technically, we could get a buy stop on the weekly now to the upside on gold. And stops would only need to be, well, ideally you'd want it below the weekly. The previous weekly. However, where's our target? Once we break that high, where's our target? We haven't got any because we're all-time highs now. So I would be taking partial from there and then just seeing where price goes. Okay, so that's an option we could do. But another option we can do is go, okay, well, if price is pulling back, it's tap previous support, and if this is going to flip, then it's going to start flipping round about today. What day are we on today? Wednesday. So that means we've got all day. That means we've got Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So that means we would need to see 3 daily candles. And let's just pop down to the daily. So we would need to see 3 daily, including today, daily candles look something like 1, 2, 3. And that would be breaking the high. We would need to see 3 daily candles like that today. Now, is that something we could get? Potentially, yeah. Potentially. We've had a doji candle. And then price is pushing down. So if this daily flips, fantastic, we could drive. So yeah, so that's the weekly. We could look at buys in and around here. So let's go down to daily and see what we can work out here. So daily was doji. We've had a gap there. I don't like gaps because it can throw you off. Let me just flick the Meraki and see what, because it's a bit messy. Yeah, so there's a daily zone here. Okay. There's our daily zone. We closed doji. So if this daily flips to the upside now, where's it going to flip to? And is it going to flip and drive? We didn't break a low. We didn't close back into this area. We're still respecting this level. We've had 2 candles respect this level. So could we get a buy stop on? Potentially. We could just get a buy stop on off the daily. Stops could just be the low. Expecting this daily to flip to the upside. We could look at that. But let's have a look at the lower time frame. See if we can see anything else. Because it's exactly the same with the daily now. Could we not look at grabbing buys in around these levels if this daily is going to flip to the upside? Potentially. So the 6 hour, look at that gap. So we haven't broke below yet. So we're still respecting this level. We're getting we've had a top wick. We broke the high because we had no top wick on this one. We've got no bottom wick on this one. So what we could potentially do, if this 6 hour closes bullish, and then we get a bottom wick with the next one, we could maybe get buy stops on that. That's in 1 hour and 40. So for example, let's say this 6 hour closes like this. The new 6 hour comes down, creates a bottom wick. We can look at buy stops above to start coming back up. That's something we can look at. What's the 4 we're looking? Or you've got 1 hour and 40 left of the 4. If this 4 flips, the 4's broke out technically. Could we get a buy stop off this 4 if this 4 flips? If this 4 does flip, it's highly likely it's going to have to break this high. That's our advantage point. Could we get a buy stop off that? Two, one. I won't lie though, guys. This is minging. This up and down. We haven't broke back in yet on the 15. Got 9 minutes left of this 30. So if this 30 can where's this 30 major? Doesn't really help us that 30. Let me have a look at the 1. I'm trying to find the smaller time frame ranges to see how we could. So the 1 range is down here, 3378. So 3378. So that would be a bottom wick for, I believe, no, it's not. That would be the 6 hour flip to the downside. No. So it looks like the hour needs to come down. So it looks like we need to tap this level. The issue we've got here is this hour. We can't get in on this, but we need to come down. So I can't see us grabbing a trade. We might even need to come and break the lows. So therefore the 4 is not really going to flip yet. Yeah, we technically could get a buy stop off this 4, right? We technically could put a buy stop off this 4 if it does flip, but I'm not sure it will flip now because I think the one hasn't filled its range. So that's the range on the 1. So the 1 needs to come down to 3378, and then it needs to close, and then the next one you're probably going to get a doji, and then the next one is going to be starting to come back up. But at that point, the 4 is going to close. That means the 4 is going to close bearish. So if the 4 closes bearish, where do we need this 4 to close? Well, ideally, we need this 4 to close respecting 3378. But then do we need a doji 4 and then a new 4 to push to the upside? So I just don't think it's ready yet. But we have got some potential buys on.
Good morning.
Good morning, Andre. How was the devil?
Good morning. Very good, thanks, mate. How are you?
Yeah, good, man. We're back on it today. We're back on it. So, this is whether this daily needs to break the lows or not. Probably doesn't need to break the lows. I think New York, we're going to get a flip on this daily candle, potentially. But this is just not ready for buys up yet, guys. But we have got potential buys up on gold. Okay, but it's just not ready. See, I can't even see the 3 flipping because the hour needs to fill this range. So we're just going to have to wait on gold, unfortunately. Guys, okay, any questions on gold?
No.
Nope. Lovely jubbly. Right, let's get on to NAS. Have a look at NAS. Again, I haven't looked at NAS all week. Okay, so monthly. Let's have a look at this monthly cap. Wowsy. So, monthlies. Now, we did break a low, and we've grabbed quite a lot of liquidity from these levels. We broke all these lows. So we've got quite a lot of liquidity. Now, is this enough liquidity to now break the high? I would say 100% yes. So we could easily come up to break these highs. And if that's what we're going to do, we don't actually need much of a bottom wick on this candle either. We could just carry on bullish all the way up, which is a bit of a shame because we're going to be hitting all-time highs. So if we go down to the weekly, because the monthly doesn't really give us that much, we just know it's bullish. Where's the range on the weeklies? Now we've got a range here, which we nearly tapped and we've nearly filled. We've got no bottom wick at this point. No bottom wick on this weekly. Why did this one close bearish? Why didn't we carry on to the upside? We've got nothing what's broke any highs, so none of these have broke any highs. But that's fine because we know that this broke a significant low and grabbed quite a lot of liquidity, and that's why you get no pullbacks on these, because we've already broke a prominent low. This is pretty difficult because all we've got to go off really is between here and here. That's all we've got to play with. I'm not really interested in the sells at the moment. So let's put this purple so we know this is our limit of exploitation. Close bearish on the daily. Yeah, I don't think there's anything for me on here, guys. Daily was bearish. We broke a low. Close respecting. Broke a low. Yeah, I don't know where we're going next. You've got minus support here where you've respected, but really it's only minus support, and at any point this daily could flip to the downside. Well, the only thing we could look at is if the daily closes bullish like this, that would then tell me that we are respecting this level. So if we close bullish like this today, tells me we're respecting this level. Tomorrow we could then look at bottom wick and then a flip to come and break the highs. But today, at the moment, guys, probably got nothing because this can flip to the downside or this can push to the upside at the moment. We know the monthly needs to fill the range, 22139. But does it need a bottom wick first? So NAS doesn't really give us anything. I can't really touch NAS unless we get that daily. Tomorrow we might be better. So we'll see we'll see how the daily closes tonight. As long as we close bullish and not break the highs, we can look at buys tomorrow. Okay. Unfortunately, nothing on NAS. And that means we've only got gold to go off, but I don't know if it's going to be ready. I don't know if it's going to be ready this morning. 6 hours flipping now. Got an hour and 30 left to the 6. Yeah, I need more candles to print really. What's this 2 here? Yeah, 2 hour close. Okay, let's have a look at this. What's this 2 here? So I don't really like that. You probably see if you're coming down, you're looking to break these lows. Yeah, it's not ready, guys. Gold for me. You could technically get buy stops off the 4 hour, but there's no point. You could get buy stops off the 4 hour now if you wanted to. Just the slight chance if it does flip, it's highly likely it's going to push higher up. and break these highs. So you've got an advantage point. But if you think about it, you've got an hour and a half left of the 4. So if you go down to the 1 has just filled the range now, but it needs to close. So this is the 1 here. It needs to close in and around these levels. I tell you what we could look at actually. If this 1 closes and breaks out like this, and then if we can get a fake out back into the area like that, then that would be the 4 hour closing respecting this level. We're not going to drive up though then, are we? Because then the next 4 you're probably going to get a doji type candle, and then the following 4 will be the one what drives. So you still, it's not going to work out. We're still waiting. We filled the range. What a shame. I'm not interested in the sells down at the moment, because we're still, the daily still respecting this level, and we were doji. What again, another option you could do is just get a buy stop on off this daily if this does flip. So if this daily does flip, you're highly likely going to be breaking this previous high, but that would confirm we are respecting this level to push for all-time highs again, because the weekly is currently still out. You'd think this weekly can flip to the upside at any point. We're tapping previous support, so it could flip at any point. So it's sort of catching where the flip is initiating. Now remember what I said, if this week we get fake out back in, fantastic. Next week we're just looking at sells, top wick, sells all the way down to at least 3,200. That's what we'll be looking at. But currently we've broke out to the upside, so it makes it a bit difficult. Yeah. So tough one on gold at the moment. Andre, I know you're not in, but we did go over the oil trade. Oil trades for second entries. What I'm looking for now is he still on? Are you still on, Andre? Yeah, you're on. Yeah.
Yeah, just rub it in, mate. Just rub it in.
Yeah. Well, what I'm looking for second entries now is, so we had a lovely weekly close, and it was a beautiful weekly close. So this weekly is closed perfect, and then we had a beautiful pullback. You technically could have had wing back buys from here at this point, because the weekly closed back into the range. I didn't get them on, but if I'd seen it, we would have looked at wing back buys for in and around here. And now it's flipped to the upside. So this is in an area now where we're going to be making a decision. What's happening? Are we going to break out of this wedge, or are we going to reject to start coming back down? And if we do reject to come back down, then we're highly likely we're probably going to start breaking lows at that point, because we had a significant break to the downside. But if we don't, and if this weekly flips to the upside and carries on, we could be looking to tap 80.37. Once we tap 80.37, I'm looking for pullbacks. So we're looking at this. I'm looking for buys in and around these levels to come back up. And then I'm looking for buys in and around them levels to start breaking the highs. So we're looking for more entries in and around the 71 area. So yeah, that's what we've got going on. And that's about it really, guys. It's a bit shit because my first day back, and oils is now ready for us on oil, and is now ready for us on NAS. So really, I don't think there's any point in staying on. There might be something on gold, probably New York session. Yeah, because this is good. You'd think for us to take a trade, we would need this 1 hour. It's very highly likely it's going to close respecting or breaking the low, but it's going to close bearish either way. I can't see it closing bullish, and the reason being because there's nothing to close bullish on. This is the range here. So it's going to close bearish. So, and then what you'll tend to get is if we are going to flip bullish, we're probably going to get a doji candle. So we can't get in on that because it means we're going to have another pop down and then a pullback and then we close bullish. So that's going to take us for another hour. And then the next hour, yes, could be the 1 month drive. So we could look at that. But that's going to take us to what? 9:30, 10:30, 25 to 11. 25 to 11. And that's even if it does that. Yeah. Yeah. How have you been getting on with the nail, Andre? Because I did start tracking, obviously, with everything what went on. I did start tracking the 15-minute on gold, but I haven't been able to get on it. How's it looking?
So far, I think overall, I mean, the testing still says it should be good. I think I've just now getting joined in a weird time. So it's still, I think it's still a good candle to take, but I think with some consideration for what's going on. Today we've got FOMC, so it's best to skip. So there's things like that. So that's good. The actual on NAS it's been really good. So on gold it's not the best right now, but on NAS it's been doing really well. The same candle. That's been being very positive. Then we are also currently kind of testing GU as well.
GU.
Same candle.
Oh, interesting.
Been doing really well on that. Not taking it live, but just from testing, it looks really good. So yeah, and then I built this indicator that kind of helps just to identify the candle easy and kind of place the boxes for you, so you can just quickly scan back the charts. It just helped so much to be able to, so you don't have to go there and okay, which candle is it? Is it boom? It's there for you. So so that's it's looking promising.
Nice.
And then we're looking at the FTSE as well, kind of opening.
Yeah, I did see a message. I've not been on my phone really the last 2 weeks.
Yeah.
But I did see a message saying about the FTSE. Is it good?
Yes, it's quite interesting, that one as well, because that first 5-minute candle is really, so that's 8 a.m. UK time, is really lively most days.
Okay,
all condolences there on your side. I know
cheers, man.
Sort of a rough period there.
It's alright. I'll have to have a look at GU. Let's have a look at XRP.
I think Nella said she's gonna get a challenge and then gonna combine GU and FTSE with kind of half risk each on that account. So
what are you doing, XRP? I've got loads. 1.56. I'm stacking up. Yeah. Look at platinum, guys. So basically, platinum has done exactly what we want oil to do. So we've got that wedge. Remember we were watching platinum, but I've stopped trading because the spreads were just too high. Was it the daily wedge? So we had that wedge, and what happened is we broke the low. Significant break, broke loads of lows, grabbed the liquidity, and that was enough for us to push out of this wedge to come up. Price just shot up. So that's exactly what we're after on oil, basically. Had a lovely daily close as well. That daily is very nice. There's no point staying on here, guys. I think if tomorrow, was it the daily? The weekly's going to be the one. So if this weekly can close back into the range and have a fake out, if this weekly on gold can close back into this range and have a fake out, because what we might get this week as well, is we might just get a bearish close, but a nest play. So you might not even close back in. So that means you're not going to move much this week. All you're going to get is this. But no, did you say it's FOMC today? So we should see some movement. But if we do get a weekly close back into this range, be very happy. Very happy, because next week should be fairly straightforward. We should just get a pullback, tap previous support, and then a flip to come down to fill this range. So that would be our target, and it's a decent range at that point. Now I know we've broke out to the upside, so at any point really this weekly can flip to the upside, but on the lower time frames that hasn't told us it's ready to flip yet. So there's no point just, I mean, you could get a buy stop on off the weekly to the upside and just have your stops below the low if you wanted to, but I might as well just wait for the lower time. I'm on every day anyway. I might as well just wait till it lines up on the lower time frame and see if we can get a better entry. A better entry would be, if this daily does flip to the upside, how far is it going to drive up, and are we going to miss the move? So could this flip and really drive up? Not too sure it could do that unless we break a low again. So what would I want to see then? Well, I would probably want to see, the only thing we've probably got potential is if this 6 hour can close bullish like this, right? If this 6 hour can close bullish, then the new candle can come and break a low, even if it's this low. Zoom in. Then we could have buy stops on the other side. Now, why do you think I needed to break a low? The reason being is we broke a low here, broke a low there, but why hasn't this drove up? Why wasn't this a big bullish candle? I'm just talking if it closes like this. Tells me that this really wasn't that much liquidity. We probably need to break a low again. So that's probably the only thing I've got going on. After an hour and 15 minutes, we'd have to wait for this candle to close. And then we would need to wait to break the low. Bear in mind, these are 6 hour candles. So that could take another hour or 2 hours just to break a low to then get the flip. And obviously, I only trade till 11. So I think I would rather just come back tomorrow and see how this daily closes. Hopefully, if this daily can still keep respecting this level, which is here. If we can keep respecting this level, then we can look at buys tomorrow. The only thing I don't like about this is we've had a gap. So this could still close bearish, but still respect this level. But ideally, you would want this to close something like, if we didn't have the gap, what you would want to see is maybe something like this. The bottom wick and top wick, and then what you'd be looking at tomorrow is you would want then bottom wick and then a flip, and that's what we could look to grab tomorrow, ideally. Or if we got a fake out, and this is what trading is about. It's like this, you're trying to think about the scenarios, what could happen, and then act upon them scenarios. Well, if this happens, how could we get in? So let's say this daily closes like that tonight, and then tomorrow we get something like that. that would be perfect for buys, because the next day would be fairly. You could probably just market execute. There'd be no reason to break into this area and then break back above unless you're coming to break this. So you could literally just market execute for buys up off the daily. So I think we need to see how this daily closes, and then we can go from there. Which is a shame, because I wanted to get on first day back and grab 400 pips for you all. 400 pepperoonies.
You know that's not how it works.
Yeah, I know. Well, we're looking good on the logbook anyway. Logbook's looking good. We only took one loss this month. That's only May. So we're on to June now. I know we're halfway through June, but I haven't took any trades in June, because obviously I've been off the last 2 weeks. So we'll see how we get on. So yeah, guys, I'm just gonna love yous and leave yous. There's no point staying on for me. If anything pops up, I'll whack it. If I take anything, I'll put it in the trade ideas. Now that I'm back. But other than that, I'll just see you tomorrow morning if yous are on.
Cool, man.
Yeah. Alright then, geezers.
Cheers.
I will catch yous later. Have a good one, guys.
I'll see you tomorrow, Pete.
Alright, see you later, Dan. Catch you later.
Things are good.
Thanks for watching, guys. Don't forget to like and subscribe. I will be back on tomorrow, 8 AM for London session. Catch you later, everyone.